that are coming. But the most exciting thing for me today is that I think I have Zoom and Facebook with 2 cameras all figured out. So we'll see. Also, what is happening with Stampin' Up next week. On Wednesday, January 4th, it is your last chance products. That's it. Wednesday is your last chance. It's when the July through December 2022 catalog closes. It's when the last chance promotion ends. It's when the Fitting Floret exclusive products end. But then on Thursday next week, on January 5th, the January through April 2023 catalog goes live and celebration goes live. This year, there will only be one celebration, and it's happening in January and February. Also, I will be having an online launch party for the brand new January through April catalog. It will begin Thursday and it will run through Monday the 9th. So let's get started creating today's card. And I'm going to try to flip the camera and see if that works. I forgot to turn off my ringer. Okay, starting video, and look at that. Amazing. I figured it out. I'm so happy. We are using the Brightest Joy stamp set, but we will also be using a sentiment from Hope and Peace. Hopefully, whoever is calling me figures out that I'm not going to answer right now. All right. Maybe not, but I have a piece of basic black cardstock that is cut. Right, scoot that back a little bit. And I'm going to pause this and try to insert. I'm trying to film. I'll call you back when I'm done. Bye. Okay. Well, you would think my family would know by now that 2 o'clock Thursdays I'm filming, but no. Maybe someday. Maybe someday I'll remember to turn off my ringer. Anyway, we are setting up the basic black cardstock, folding it in half, and creasing the top. I forgot my bone folder, so I'm using my fingernails to make a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch card base. Now I have a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 inch very vanilla that will go on the inside of the card. And I'm not going to stamp on the inside of this card. We are going to just add a strip of designer series paper. But this is 4 by 1, I believe. So we're going to glue that on. trim off the edge. And then we're going to glue this on the inside of our card. There, that helps with the lighting to turn that one on. All right, I'm going to set that aside and going to start with our stamping. Going to get out my staparatus. And then I'm thinking these are, they are the rubber back stamps, so I do not need to use my foam sheet for this. And one thing I'm going to do is stamp directly on my designer series paper. And I'm using the small sentiment from Hope and Peace that says, with love and hope. Got it? I'm using the Tuxedo Black Memento ink. There it is, with love and hope. I'm gonna add a little more ink, see if I can get it just a tiny bit dark. There it is. All right, put this aside for now. Clean up this stamp, and then we'll be using some Berry Vanilla cardstock and the Lights Aglow stamp set. This is our New Year card. So we are using Happy New Year, which I did not get ready, but that gives me a chance to show you how to do this, how to add your sticker to your clean stamp. First, you take off the backing, and then you find the stamp that goes with it. Then line up stamp over the top of the sticker, press, and peel. There it is. Now I'm going to put it right in the center, just because I'm not sure what die we're going to use to accentuate that new year yet. So I'm going to give it plenty of space. I'm going to ink up the tuxedo. And I'll add a little bit more of out here. And now it's time to bring over my mini cut and stamp and emboss machine. There we go. To do this, we're going to put in the base plate and then line cutting plate. And I'm using the Lights Aglow die set. Not sure that's quite big enough. No, quite. But I'm having luck. So we're going to use the smaller of the circles. And no, I don't even want to use the larger circle for this. So I'll put the circle with the die on it in there and the second cutting plate over it. And then I'm sending it through. Here we have our Happy New Year. And there's just a few little circles that didn't come out. I'm just using my fingernail to make sure they come all the rest of the way out. And then we're going to put this all together. Okay. Here is our 3 by 3.5 inch rectangle. And I would like to cut some of the vanilla and gold ribbon. Then I will be using, I don't know where it is right now. But I do have a small piece of here. So over here, the designer series paper that is cut, and I'm going to go ahead and cut little flag edges. Snip those out of the end. Take from each corner and go up toward the middle. And where do they meet is where the flag end is snipped out. All right. I'll grab my glue dots. I get this ribbon put on here. You're the one that put it more towards the center. Or put the glue dots more towards the center because it does hang over it a little bit. There we go. And then I will be using a couple of some, trying to think. Don't see very much of the ribbon. I'm going to do it that way because I am going to want to see some of that gorgeous ribbon. I'm going to just grab a couple more glue dots. I'm putting it to where it is at the top of the gold stripe going at the bottom of the ribbon. And then finally, I want to add sentiment circle with a couple of dimensions. There's our happy news. Now we're going to glue this to the front of our card. And add some gold purple. That's the end of my gold pearls. So I will need to order some more. I doubt I'm done using gold. There we have it.